Alright boys, so welcome to another little YouTube video. So this one is going to be filled with huge value. I see that you guys are liking these videos quite a lot. So I thought I'd just keep posting more of them. So there is no BS, no kind of theoretical advice. This is practical advice, everything written out for you and you're able to watch it. So in this video, we're going to be going over the same as probably what title says, is how to find the ideal client to work with, kind of the checklist and the do's and don'ts to look for in an ideal client. And just one thing that I wanted to mention, because the channel is growing really, really quickly and it's really interesting, and I'm happy to speak to all of you guys. So I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a challenge just to see kind of how big the audience can get, right? So if you guys get this video, if you just press the like button, and if this video gets to 500 likes, so that's the goal. If you guys go ahead and hit 500 likes on this YouTube video, I will do a free Q&A call for an hour or two with all of you guys in our free Discord community. And that's also the link down below. So if you're not in there, you can check it out as well. So literally all you have to do is leave a like on this video. If this video gets 500 likes, or as soon as it hits 500 in the Discord, I'll announce when we'll do the free Q&A. Just jump on there, ask me any questions, come and talk to me, come and hang out. Yeah, and I think that'll be a pretty cool event. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the video and take some notes on this one for sure. See you in the next one. All right, boys, so another little value-packed lesson here. So this lesson, and to be honest, this question I get very, very frequently, which is, who essentially the problem that I hear a lot of guys running into is I work with so many different models and something just isn't working out. Maybe sometimes models just drop off, sometimes they're not doing the work, sometimes they're not happy to do certain bits of content, and it just becomes really, really difficult to work with certain different models, right? And you can avoid all of that by just actually following this checklist that we're about to give you and making sure that all the models that you do work with tick all of the right criteria to make sure that it can be a smooth process and both parties can make a lot of fucking money, all right? So this particular lesson, like I said, is how to know if a model has top earning potential. All right. So if after this call, your model has answered all of these questions about the same way how I'm about to go through in these points, then she has high earnings potential. All right. So let's just go through them. So there's quite a few. So first one is time. All right. So short story is you want to make sure the model is able to do this full time. If your potential client, I'm going to say client, in terms of model, if your client says, or potential client says, yeah, I've got university, I've got a full-time job, I'm studying, I'm doing this, and I'm looking to do OnlyFans. Don't get me wrong, if you're just starting out, sure, go for it and trial it out and try and work with them. If you really want the top high earners, the 0.1%ers and below, you have to make sure that the model is doing it full time. Nothing in this life comes easy. It comes with hard work. And somebody who's just doing something half-assed is probably not going to do as well as somebody who's put all of their 110% effort into it, right? And not only that, think about it, if the girl is doing this full time, that means she has so many more hours in a day to create content, to create customs. And then also, as I wrote here, if she's doing this full time, all of her energy and all of her thought process focused into just OnlyFans, right? It'll be focused into what can I do? What collabs can I do? She will go out of her own way to do collabs and shout outs in comparison to a girl who's, like I said, doing university, working full-time, etc. She might not even have the time to organize collabs and so on, right? Which, by the way, you should do as well anyway. As an agency, you should organize collabs. But anyway, so the first one is definitely make sure your potential client is able to do this full-time, all right? Next one is location. So there is a high likelihood of success when the model is located in a first world country, such as the UK or USA and so on, all right? As a result of her current followers typically being in wealthier, like first world countries, and they're more likely to subscribe and spend money, all right? And that's pretty much the main reason. The second one, obviously, is if you are in a first world country, such as like UK, USA, Canada, and so on, you are a native English speaking person, so would your model be, right? It'd be a lot easier to communicate, which will be one of the next points. But the main point here is the fact that if she's from a first world country, most of her followers will be as well. most of them will obviously have the liquid cash to obviously spend and pay your model. All right. Again, if that isn't the case, if your model isn't from a first world country, it's not the end of the world, but you will have to, again, time zones. This isn't something that's written on here, but you've got to work around the time zones. You're also going to have to do things such as like ship out US SIM cards for TikTok. Those are little things, right? And it's just a bit easier if your model is in the same country as yourself, right? Phone is the next one. An element that is often overlooked is what phone the prospective model has, right? Ideally, you're looking for an iPhone 11 Pro and above. Ideally, iPhone 12, 11 Pro, etc. It is essential that the phone has a quality camera and a video recording capability so that you can create the content, all right? Again, it's not the end of the world. The same as kind of the previous point here. It's not mandatory for the model to succeed, because in this particular point, you can just always invest into a phone and ship it out to the model. All right, you can do that, but again, it's just one of those things that you can just avoid by actually making sure that you sign up a model with a great phone, right? With a good phone device. It's such a little thing, but I promise you, these things go a far way. But again, like I said, you can always invest into the model, purchase her a phone, and just ship it out. If let's just say just the phone is the only red flag, everything else, is a tick. Next one is the language, which again, I kind of mentioned about location, all right? Communication is key, right? Literally in every business, especially in this one. At the end of the day, the only way you guys succeed is if both parties communicate and work really hard. It's not just you guys working hard, or it's not just the OnlyFans model working really hard. You guys really need to make sure that communication is there, all right? Next one, social media following. So at the bare minimum, the model should have a few thousand followers. Because you got to think, growing an account from 0 followers is very time consuming. Again, it's not impossible, but who would you rather start working with? Somebody who has like 5,000 or 10,000 followers and you help them get to like 50, 100K, obviously AK, some of those turn into subs, or most of them. Or you help a model who's just starting out, brand new social medias, they want to stay anonymous. Right, it's going to be a lot easier to work with somebody who already has that initial following that you can then obviously convert into clients. All right. Let me see. So the next one, we have the current OnlyFans situation, right? So what are the stats on OnlyFans looking like? So at the bare least, the minimum, she must obviously have a verified account and obviously a setup account on OnlyFans, all right? Obviously, if they are already making a good amount of money, this is a bonus. For us personally, we look for a model to already be making a minimum of $10,000 a month on OnlyFans. And this not only shows that the model has proof of concept. What do I mean by that? Essentially, proof of concept that whatever she is doing is already working, right? Without even us having to come on board, she already understands the basics of marketing, because you can't just make 10K out of thin air like this, right? Like for example, if she already has 50,000 followers online, she must have done something to get that, right? She might be already really fucking hot. She might be already posting loads of TikToks. And even if she's doing these things, like she already understands how social media works at the base level, at least, all right? So it already shows the proof of concept. And also the second thing, which I think is really, really important, which is again, really overlooked, is if the girl's already making 10,000, the chances of her having second thoughts on just OnlyFans as a whole and maybe just stop doing it as a whole are a lot less likely, because when you're making 10K a month, it's normally a good enough reason to carry on doing that, right? Because for example, if a girl is just starting out and she only makes about 1,000 in her first month, she'll have her doubts creep in. Maybe her friend said something and now she's thinking, do you know what, is this even worth it? Maybe her family said something, and so on and so on, right? If the girl's making 10K a month already and you come on board and obviously make it go to 30, 40,000, whatever the doubts are, whatever family members, whatever friends are saying, she can be like, well, look, I can literally help you. I can look after you now. I can provide this, and it's helping me pay for my rent, and so on and so on. All right. So that's another thing. Cool. And then explicitly level. So this is, I would say, probably the most important one. So for a model to have a top earnings potential, they need to be open to doing fully explicit content. Obviously, if they're not open to that, that's completely fine. You choose whether you want to work with them or not. I wouldn't suggest that. And again, if you're just starting out and you just want your first couple of clients to work with, that's fine. You can kind of experiment with marketing and helping them grow their account ever so slightly. But if you're really looking to kind of make the tens of thousands, you ideally want a client who's happy to do full explicit content. Again, it's definitely not to say that if she only does, like, for example, bikini photos and underwear photos, that she can't make 20 grand. Of course she can. I've seen it in my own eyes. But it's just more often than not, typically you'll find the bigger creators are the ones that are doing like full-on pornos, full sex tapes, full toy videos, and so on and so on. All right. Here's a bonus little tip as well I added. If a model is worried about not showing her face, if a model is worried about showing her face or staying anonymous, I think I was meant to put not. But if she is worried about, hiding her face and staying anonymous and having a different, name online and so on and so on, typically this is a red flag on the basis, like, for your agency, in terms of like, typically what it is just she's anxious of like her friends or family finding out, which I understand, if that's maybe she's just thinking about doing it, she's not 100% on it, which is fine, let her do her thing. It's just for you as a business, in an ideal world, like the ideal client shouldn't be worried about whether they even want to do it or not. You should be looking at somebody who definitely wants to do this, right? And again, that goes to kind of the whole 10K a month. If the model's already making 10K a month, he or she probably doesn't give a fuck about showing their face at that point, right? Like, they're happy to show their face. All right. Work rate, this is something that you can't necessarily tell on the call itself, on the interview, on the Zoom call. This is typically something that you obviously find out, after, once you start working together. But whether it's on the Zoom call or even when you do a little bit of research on the potential client, aka their social media, you'll be able to tell about their work rate in terms of how much effort do they put into their content, how frequently do they upload, and when you speak into them on Zoom, do they have that energy, do they have that enthusiasm, do they actually have a reason to do this, like, do they actually need money, do they want to achieve something, do they want to afford something, do they want to look after somebody, like, is there anything motivating them, right? Or do they just sound a bit bored, a bit lazy? We've genuinely had like a couple of girls on the call, and fair play to them, but they literally just straight up say, like, I can't lie, I'm a little bit lazy, like, I can't really be asked to create content, can you just do it all for me? It's kind of a red flag. All right. And lastly is the niche. So when speaking to the model on the call, ask what kind of questions and general interests, does she have, and, talk about her lifestyle, etc. This will help you when it comes to promoting the model itself as well, right? So if she's, for example, as it's written here, if she's like a girl gamer, she's into like playing video games, that could be an ideal niche, right? And that will help you to market the model, right, in different subreddits and so on and so on. All right. So these are a couple of things that I've written down here. I hope you guys learned a couple of things. Now, one thing I really wanted to mention, by the way, something that a lot of people might not know actually is in our high level coaching program. So in our inner circle, we obviously at Aura, we get a lot of inbound messages. A lot of potential clients come to us looking to work with us. And as I've said right here, for us personally, we are looking for models who are doing 10,000 and above. Most of them obviously don't qualify for that, right? So then the models that don't qualify for, to work with us personally, we then partner those potential girls, right, to work with our students. So if you are watching this right now and you're in a stage where you're either just starting out and you want to find some models to work with straight away, or you are already started, you're working with a couple models, but you're able to actually take on a few more clients as well. Our inner circle is actually a great place to find models, right? And so that would alleviate the whole process of you having to reach out to a bunch of models, go through all the messaging, the back and forth, jumping on a Zoom call. We've already done all that hard part. We've already attracted a lot of potential clients, and we're happy to obviously partner those with you guys. So if you are interested, book a call somewhere around this video, probably top right. Book a call with us, see if you qualify to jump in and join our inner circle, to actually then be able to partner with some of these models and get earnings straight away. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know anybody else who's doing that. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Book a call somewhere below or above, and I really look forward to hopefully speaking with you very soon. So yeah, take it easy.